Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Education meeting for Wednesday, May 7th. Thank you so much to everyone who is here. It's always so exciting when we have so many members of the community involved. We have a lot of people to celebrate today as well. I'll keep my opening remarks as brief as possible in order to do so. But first of all, I want to say it's been a month since we've met, so welcome back, everyone. The room's a little toasty. Sorry about that. So hopefully we can tolerate it for a little while. And I hope everyone had a really wonderful spring break. Feels like ages ago at this point, but spring break did occur in the last month. And I also wanted to say a special thank you in regard to the budget, which did pass a few weeks ago. Many thanks to Superintendent Burke, Assistant Superintendent Parsons, Nikki Stevenson, Linda Powell for all your hard work in getting information out there. I also want to give a special thank you to all the members of the board. For working collaboratively, for submitting so many great questions, and for getting information out there to the public who had questions in regard to the budget or what was happening with it. It takes a group effort, and I really appreciate everyone's solidarity and collaboration in getting it done. So thank you. I'm going to move along now to awards and recognition. What I would like to do is welcome Hallie James, Robert Hazen, Sophia Brenson, our very own, and Benjamin up. Look at this. I'm going to put you front and center and make you a little uncomfortable, okay? What we're celebrating tonight is the CABE Leadership Award. The recipient of this award must exhibit a variety of leadership skills in order to be the recipient of it. And it really is something special and important. So the following criteria that must be met for this award are a willingness to take on challenges, a capability to make difficult decisions, concern for others, ability to work with others, willingness to commit to a project, diplomacy, the ability to understand issues clearly, and the ability to honor a commitment. These are some really outstanding skills, and I want to take a moment to introduce everyone individually. Hallie James. Hallie, you are in the 8th grade. What I have here is that you possess an innate leadership quality that encourages and uplifts your peers. Your empathy and compassion enable you to establish connections and promote teamwork within the classroom community. You are driven, competent, and a principled person dedicated to reaching your academic goals. Your caring disposition and leadership abilities empower you to assign tasks efficiently and mediate conflicts among your group members. You continually offer assistance to classmates in need, demonstrating sincere concern for the welfare of others. Well done. There's only 4. I know, there's only 4. Okay. Robert Hazen, grade 8. Robert, you are a natural leader, and you don't hesitate to tackle complex problems, demonstrating a remarkable level of resilience. You possess a proactive approach to problem solving and a strong willingness to take on challenges. When faced with a difficult project or task, you readily step up and assume responsibility by delegating to your group members. Your genuine concern for others is evident in your interactions with classmates. You're always willing to offer assistance and support, creating a positive and inclusive learning environment. Beyond academics, you're a reliable and respectful member of the school community. Thank you so much. Sticking. There you go. And Board of Education student member, Junior Sophia Brenson. Sophia has served the Granby Board of Education as student representative for the 2024-25 school year, wherein she has offered her regular contributions through updates on events and perspectives from high school. A strong student who excels in a challenging course load, taking a couple of UConn ECE courses, including AP and honors classes. Sophia is also a competitive swimmer who served as the captain of our GMHS swim team. Sophia also shares her passion for swimming as a coach in youth swimming programs. Congratulations, Sophia. We're getting the hang of it now. Yeah. Right. Next up, senior Ben Levine. A dedicated scholar and athlete, Ben embodies our core values through his perseverance in a rigorous course load, excelling in honors and AP courses, while demonstrating a deep passion for learning, particularly in English, social studies, and psychology. As a 3-season athlete and captain of the soccer, indoor track, and tennis teams, he leads with determination and sportsmanship. Beyond athletics, Ben is an active community member, serving as a student liaison to the Board of Selectmen, volunteering at the local food bank, and contributing to environmental conservation efforts. Congratulations, Ben.
We should do a photo opportunity. Why don't we have the whole group just kind of come together?
I'm sure we have parents who want to take some
pictures in here. Why don't we do the whole thing? I just take photos. And then with the four of you just kind of come together a little bit. Why don't you want to go one side or the other? You got it. Nice job. Congratulations, you guys. Okay.
Did everybody get there?
Okay, then why don't we start with like individual information? Sure. Okay, so you're gonna just step to the side for a second, and then we'll do okay. You got it, smile. What happens in here? All right, congratulations.
Congratulations, thank you.
Thanks for giving me a Can you manage it? Got it.
There's some smiling. Thank you so much to our exceptional students. It's such an honor to have you here with us and to demonstrate to everyone the great things that you're doing. So thank you. If you feel free to leave at any time, you don't. So you know,
board recipients might want to go to dinner or get an ice cream. So
on us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Come on, guys.
We are going to move along to public comment. Granby community engagement and attendance at Board of Education public meetings is welcomed and encouraged. As is our custom, the board views public comment as an opportunity for members of the public to share their comments and concerns with the board, and board members will not be responding to comments or engaging in a dialogue. As it deems appropriate, the board may place such matters on the agenda for future meetings for discussion in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act. Procedurally, public remarks will be limited to 5 minutes, and speakers will be asked to identify themselves by name and address. We expect comments to be respectful and civil in tone, and we do not permit name calling, raised voices, personal attacks, or vulgarity. Lastly, we note that the superintendent is responsible for student and personnel matters. No speaker will be permitted to use public comment to bring complaints against any teacher, student, or staff member, or to discuss student matters which are confidential. Therefore, the use of student, teacher, or staff names is not permitted. Any such complaints or concerns should be directed to the superintendent and her team. As is our custom and practice, we start with public comment for people who are present in the room, and then we'll move on to Zoom. If there's anyone on Zoom who wishes to make public comment, feel free to raise your hand or enter your name into the queue so we know that you wish to speak. Is there anyone present who would like to make public comment? You can come on up to the podium and introduce yourself, please.
My name is Caitlin Wagner. I live on Silver Street and I'm a junior.
My name is Maria Peterson and I live on Heather Lane. I'm also a junior.
Members of the board, we're here today to address the proposed schedule changes for next year for the middle school and high school. This includes cutting double periods from 33 total times a year down to 14, which will be detrimental, we feel like, to visual learners, placing PLC with an unspecified collaboration model, and reducing passing time from 4 minutes down to 3.
The administration has shared that this new schedule will increase instructional time by 72 hours over the course of the school year, and they say that this additional time will directly benefit students.
These 72 hours, however, come at the cost of PLC and shorter passing periods. The passing periods add just 1 minute per class, which is unlikely to translate into meaningful learning time, especially when students spend that minute packing up or rushing to their next class. After trying to get into contact with our superintendent, we were instead directed to our principal, Dunn. And when I brought up this issue, he only said that we would see the benefits and was unable to name any.
In the email to students and parents, we were assured that when in the beginning of the process of creating this new schedule, the first thing they did was gather input from students, staff, and administrators. However, that input came from vague questions asked to a small group. Even when students supported the PLC, it was still cut, making us feel like an afterthought. If our voices mattered, more of us would have been consulted and our feedback considered.
Additionally, when we were reached out to Superintendent Berg, we were redirected and told that nothing is final. And if that's true, we feel like our concerns should be addressed before decisions are finalized instead of overlooked.
Admin has gone so far as telling teachers to stop us from emailing them about these concerns, but they still encourage the core values of the high school. And when we utilize the values of curiosity, perseverance, and involvement, it was met with limited transparency and an apparent lack of genuine commitment.
This new schedule presents numerous challenges that may ultimately outweigh the benefits it claims to offer. This process of disregarding student voices has made us feel undervalued and unimportant, and made it clear that student well-being and education was not the priority when creating the schedule. If financial efficiency is a key driver of this plan, we respectfully request that the projected savings and impacts be transparently shared with the school community.
We believe that meaningful solutions come from listening to those most impactful. Students are not just data points or scheduling constraints. We are the reason schools exist. We ask that the board re-examine this plan with genuine student input at the forefront. Parents, we need your support. This schedule change will not be as much of an upgrade as it is advertised, and we must make sure our voices are heard. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I'm Jenna Stevens. I'm a junior and I live on Candlewood Lane. Okay. Good evening. Good evening, Superintendent Burke and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here because I care deeply about the well-being of our school, our teachers, and our students. And I'm here to express serious concern about the recent decision to change our high school schedule to an 8-period day every day, starting in 2025 through 2026 school year. 3 things have recently come to my attention. 3 goals the Board of Education claims to prioritize: safety and social emotional well-being, community engagement, and professional learning. And alongside those goals, our district-wide theme is proudly stated as connect, believe, and achieve. But here's the truth. This schedule change contradicts all of those values. Let's start with community engagement, where the board says your aim is to enhance community communication, and build trusting relationships with all stakeholders. But I ask you, where was the communication? Where was the engagement? This schedule was decided without meaningful input from the students, families, or staff. My voice and the voices of many others were shut out. I wasn't informed of this change until it was already underway. This is just not just lack of communication, it is a complete breakdown of trust. If communication engagement truly matters, then community voices should matter too. And right now, they clearly don't. Next, safety and social emotional well-being, where you promise to foster a safe and positive social and emotional environment for everyone. Let me be blunt. Our well-being is going to suffer deeply. Switching to an 8-period day every single day will leave students overwhelmed and exhausted. We're used to a schedule that provides balance, longer class periods, and allow time to focus, think, create, and connect. Without that, we're rushing from class to class with shorter, more fragmented instruction. That's stressful. That's discouraging. That's not emotionally supportive. Our current rhythm, one that gives space to breathe and build real learning, will be completely disrupted. You say you care about our emotional health, but this decision says otherwise. I know the new schedule includes double period days twice a month, supposedly increasing instructional time by 72 hours over the course of the school year. But that extra time is a double-edged sword. It's 72 hours that comes at the cost of a balance. With fewer double periods than we currently have, we lose crucial opportunities for in-depth learning, and more frequent short periods will lead to more stress, less focus, and more burnout. And here's the part that really doesn't add up. We're consistently being told that this new schedule will prepare us for college, but let's look at that more closely. College classes are long. They often are 75 to 90 minutes long, even 2 or 3 hours, and they require sustained attention, deep work, and the ability to manage larger blocks of time. That's exactly what our current schedule encourages us to practice. But the new schedule moves away from that, not toward it. With shorter daily periods and only 2 double period days a month, we're not getting the kind of consistency we need to build college level learning habits. So if college prep is truly a goal, this plan takes us in the wrong direction. Then there's professional learning, where you commit to developing the instructional skills and strategies of our teaching staff through ongoing meaningful and systemic learning opportunities. But how can teachers grow and innovate when their instructional time is being cut short? Double period days gave them the chance to engage students more deeply, implement complex lessons, and support different learning needs. Shorter periods force them to condense lessons, rush assignments, and scale back creativity. That's not enhancing teaching, it's restricting it. Now I'd like to speak personally. As someone with ADHD, the old schedule gave me the time I need to manage my learning effectively. The double period days twice a week allowed me to focus and finish assessments in one sitting, which was crucial for me. This new schedule will disrupt that. With shorter periods each day, I'll have to stretch my assessments out over 2 to 3 days, which only adds to my frustrations and challenges with focus. Additionally, the new schedule eliminates PLC. PLC Thursdays, a time when students could arrive an hour late to rest, catch up, and in my case, attend a church breakfast with my community. This was a vital part of my week, not just for rest, but for nurturing my faith journey. Without this, I'll lose a connection that is important to my well-being, my sense of community, and my growth as an individual. And on top of that, the new plan proposes shortening our passing periods from 4 minutes to 3. Our hallways are already congested, and this change will make it even more difficult to move between classes. More rush transitions will increase stress and will affect students and staff alike, especially those with physical or cognitive challenges. And now we've heard the underlying reason behind all of this. It's a budget issue, which I understand. This change isn't about student success. It's about sharing teachers with the middle school to save money. I understand that fiscal challenges are real, but let's call this what it is, a cost-cutting decision disguised as a structural improvement, made at the expense of students' learning, teachers' capacity, and our overall well-being. That brings me to the district's guiding themes: connect, believe, and achieve. It's a powerful statement, but only if you follow through on it. Connect. Connection.
Jenna, we're a little bit past 15, so if you can, or 5 minutes, if you could try to wrap it up.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I can do it. Connection. It requires time to build relationships between students and teachers. Oh yeah, this is literally the end. The current schedule provides that time. The new one only takes it away. More frequent transitions and shorter periods will fracture learning and limit personal connection. And by excluding us from this decision, you've disconnected from the very community you're supposed to serve. We are told to believe in ourselves, in each other, and in our leaderships. But how can we believe in a system that doesn't even ask for our input when it's going to be affecting our daily lives? So please have an honest conversation with us and include us. Achieve the last. You say this is for student success, but what can we do when our learning time is shrinking, when teachers can't finish projects, labs, or discussions? It doesn't come from rushing, it comes from depth, not pace. And this new schedule undermines it. So thank you so much for listening tonight. And I'm asking you respectfully but firmly to reconsider this change. Reopen the conversation, invite input from community, and look for solutions that don't sacrifice learning logistics. Because this isn't just about a schedule, it's about values and whether this district is willing to live up its values it promotes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else present who wishes to make public comment? Going once? Going twice? All right, I'm moving over to Zoom. Is there anyone on Zoom who wishes to make public comment?
I don't think so.
Okay. Going once? Going twice? Thank you. I'm closing public comment now. Okay, we're going to move along to our student representative reports. Katie O'Neill and Sophia Brunson.
Okay, so the spring band concert was on May 1st. It was amazing. We performed 4 songs, as well as the jazz band performed an additional 4 songs. And then, Brandon Wallace's little group of musicians also performed some very nice music in the beginning. Foreign Food Fest was the next day, May 2nd, where Spanish and French honor societies came together to have a fundraiser to support our group and our scholarship. We had unlimited crepes and quesadillas for everybody who attended. The AP exams have started and will last until next Friday, May 16th. Prom is also on May 16th at the Riverview in Simsbury. Then the week after, May 20th, is NHS Science Night, where younger members of our community can come and see AP and honors students performing experiments or showing them kind of like different scientific aspects of what they're learning. Senior outing is also that week, May 22nd, at Boulder Ridge Day Camp in Barkhamsted. And then later that day will be the chorus concert held in the auditorium at, I believe, 7 p.m.
Okay, so spring sports are now in full swing. This week, our sports teams had a few games, however, some were postponed or canceled due to the weather. Golf had a match today against Rockville at 3. Boys baseball and girls softball had a game today, both against Ellington, boys away and girls home. Boys and girls track have a meet today against Summers away, and the girls tennis team also has a game today against Coventry home. Boys baseball has a game tomorrow, home versus Newington, and boys tennis has a game tomorrow versus East Granby away. Girls lacrosse has a game tomorrow, home against Rockville. Boys lacrosse also has a game tomorrow against Rockville away. Girls tennis has a game tomorrow versus Bolton home, and boys tennis has a game Friday against Newington. Boys golf also has a match against Summers away. Boys baseball has a home game Saturday morning against Summers, and girls softball also has a game Saturday morning against Minnechaug home. Girls lacrosse has a game against Rocky Hill away on Saturday. And last but not least, track has an away meet on Saturday in Vernon. So very busy week for sports.
Yeah, we're getting toward the end of the school year. Things happening at lightning speed. So
For sure.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions for our student reps? Thank you. Next up, reports and discussions, schools in the spotlight. I believe we have 2 separate presentations today. First up is Kristen Rice, the instructional specialist at Granby Memorial Middle School.
Hi, nice to see everybody. Do I have slides that will be up? Yeah, so if I could see those, that would be awesome. So, hello, I'm so happy to be here. I am the instructional specialist at the middle school. And really tonight I feel like it's just it's a great time of year because it's getting to the end of the year. I have these wonderful students here to help and showcase what they've become so good at during the school year, and that's crew. We're going to talk about crew. So Crew is something that started this year. I'm not going to talk a ton about it because I want you to see it in action. And then we'll have time for questions afterwards. So we are crew, not passengers. As you can see, that is our tagline there. So you may have seen this quote before, but I think it's worth repeating. Students see this during their crew time, and teachers do talk about it. Anytime we've done professional learning at school, we also come back to this quote. So essentially, I want you to picture in your minds either a cruise ship or a boat with people rowing in it, and think about that. So on a boat, passengers are catered to. Their main purpose is to arrive at the destination with as little effort as possible. They are involved in activities, but not wholly engaged in the journey. Crew, on the other hand, are responsible for the entire journey. They are engrossed in the activities of the ship. In fact, without their individual and collective effort or collaborative effort, the passage cannot happen. Crew reach the same destination as their passengers, but their experience is significantly richer. So what is crew? Crew is essentially these two things. It's a structure where a group of students meet weekly with a crew leader to support and push each other in school and in life. And then it's also a culture where to be crew means to help each other and take responsibility for everyone's well-being around you. So again, think of that large rowboat with people rowing together to get to the same destination. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to turn it over to.
So essentially the three parts of a crew meeting are: first, there's an opening or a greeting that sets the tone for the meeting. Crews use a talking piece to ensure all crew members have a voice. Some examples of our talking pieces are the bell. There's some pictures. The bell, some teachers use a ball or little plushies like the dinosaur. The second part of a crew meeting is a meeting activity that reflects the theme for the month and is engaging. The third is a closing that acknowledges the work we did and what's to come.
So we do a lot of different openings and greetings, and here we usually have like a little circle that we just meet and talk in. Here we're playing Uno. We don't usually do that, but we do many different things to start off the meeting. Meeting activities, we can do anything from building towers to just writing encouraging notes on sticky notes and just having fun. So here, this is one of the things we did in crew on the top left. We wrote down things we are grateful for in the school or in our life, and the student council, they put them all up on the board in the center of the school.
The final part of our crew is the closing, right? During the closing, we will ask questions about the activity, such as what strategies helped your group be successful? What challenges did your group face? How well did your group communicate and collaborate? If you could redo the challenge, what would you do differently? And how did this activity model our bear's expectation? Other things we might do is look at a graphic such as this one and talk about how this demonstrates being resourceful. Or we could talk about a quote, such as this one by Henry Ford, which says, anyone who stops learning is old. Whether at 20 or 8, anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. Right? Or this one, which says, being a student is easy, learning requires actual work.
So I'm Jenna Collins, and I'm very fortunate to bring my amazing crew here tonight. We have been working together since school started. And as you can see from some of those pictures, we have done a lot of really cool activities that make kids think. We make them collaborate. We make them work together as a team. And we have created a very special community that when I asked them to come to present to the board tonight, they were very excited to do so. And hopefully you guys are ready to join us for our crew. So we would like to share what a crew meeting might look like. So we're going to start with an opening circle. We're going to do a very fun meeting activity, and then we will end with a closing.
Around there, people if you want.
Well, I think they want us to be a part of the circle, correct?
Yeah.
Do you mind introducing everyone for us too? I think that'd be great.
So we have Dan Waterman, Logan Witherell, Dylan DeFonska, Mary Walters. We have Count Jamala, we have Eva Bergoni, and we have Adele Russell.
Thank you.
Miss Collins.
And, yeah.
So we do have our Tom Lee as a social studies teacher, it is very appropriate.
On a scale of a cat, how are you feeling? So what we're gonna do is that every day we normally have like different stuff, but today we're doing like you have to pick from like what cat you're feeling.
So I'm gonna start, I am a 3 because I'm excited to be here.
I'd say I'm feeling pretty 6. I'm excited to be here, but
A little nervous.
I'm going pretty 8 because I like with my friends before coming.
Six, thanks to be here, but it's so nervous. I'm feeling that, I'm feeling excited.
I'm feeling anxious, I'm just tired.
I'm feeling 4 because I haven't had the
Feeling 2 because I woke up to my alarm. I'm feeling 8 because I'm very tired.
Okay, Sophia. Oh,
I'm feeling 6, just feeling tired today.
I'm feeling 9 because I had an AP test today.
I'm feeling 7. It's been a day.
Yeah, I'm feeling 6-ish.
I'm feeling 8-ish because my allergies are really prepping me right now.
that's exactly what I was gonna do. I'm feeling 8 because like I need to be up here like this, but I kind of feel like this on the inside.
I likewise feel like 8 because I have a head cold.
Yeah, we all.
2, just because like his look.
Feeling 9 because I can't wait to get into my pajamas.
Boy.
Hello, board members. So today we're going to demonstrate one of the games that we love, that we usually do in crew. We love to do it, called Dance Telephone. It starts out with one person at the back of the line doing a dance, and then everybody else has to try and repeat it. And then at the end, we see where it ends up, if it's the exact same or if there's some variations. Now, if any board member would like to join us, that would be greatly appreciated. You don't have to, but it's just a suggestion.
I'll join.
I'll join.
Go.
Heather now.
Probably like 2 more steps forward. Thanks for the reasons. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Man, that was a lot.
She went like this, and you spun her around. And then you did. We lost the spin. They lost the spin. Well, we didn't see it. Okay.
Spin up the finger, guys.
Yeah, very cute. Gosh, I was afraid there would be a dance by the end.
I'm just gonna say a quick thank you to board members for hopping in. Thank you for playing this game with us and enjoying tonight.
Thanks for inviting us.
So once we do our activity, we come back together, we kind of debrief. Why did we do this activity? So we've done this one quite a few times before. So just a quick summary. We might talk about what was challenging with this activity. How can we use what we learned through this experience in situations outside of the classroom? How do small miscommunications lead to big misunderstanding? We just saw our dance is very different. It changed as we went along. So that is always really important because crew has themes. Each month we have a theme about activities and what the message will be, and we have these significant activities that all children experience. So when we come back together and talk about how this being connected, how does it fit our crew?
So for September, our crew theme was belonging and being part of the community and being a positive contributor as well. We said this contributed to our activity because the dance wouldn't have come to what it was at the end without you, and building trust to put yourself out there with the group of people that you're in. Sometimes it's not easy to be yourself around people you don't really know, but we got together and we did it.
Our theme for January was compassion and empathy. This game shows that there was no judgment and we were belonging in group, flexibility and understanding.
Our theme for November was how to be an effective communicator, and we were communicating through dancing and passing messages non-verbally, and errors in communication led to misunderstandings, and we realized that and we laughed about it after.
So students really love this and they have said good things about it. I get to focus on getting to know other people and I get to make friends with more people. I'm in a crew of people who were my friends and now they are. I wish we had it every day. It's really fun and I consider them all my friends. And like any good thing should be, it's just fun. So it's enjoyable.
Some of the families said things like, "Crew has been an incredible opportunity for my child to have that small class community to start his every Thursday. Crew provides a safe space for him to connect with an adult, build relationships, and receive support with his study, social, and emotional development." And they also said things like, "Both of my kids have loved having crew as part of their schedule. For my sixth grader in particular, having that class first during the first week or so of school really helped her understand her schedule and ease into the newness of middle school." Lastly, I think the student-led conferences were a valuable experience that crew offered the students. I was incredibly impressed, and it's sometimes emotional, listening to her speak to her own strengths and goals as a student and human being. I could see how proud she was to share her glows, both grades and assignments. She even felt comfortable sharing parts of school that are difficult and not enjoyable for her.
So again, crew was new this year. So some voices from our staff. Crew is a place where students can find connections in unexpected ways. Staff and students get to share more about who they are outside of the academic day. And as a teacher, it's been great to make a bond with students that goes a little deeper than grades and curriculum.
Thank you for listening and participating partly in the activity. So can we answer any questions?
Yeah, I think I'd like to jump in with some questions. I think the first one, I don't know, how are the crews selected at the beginning of the year? Like, how do you divide up the individual crews?
So I said kids would be able to answer all these questions, but they don't.
Sorry,
answer that.
Question as a kid-based sorry.
This year, since it was our first year, it was completely random.
Okay.
So there was no method or madness. It was whoever fell together, and it worked out really well.
Okay. So for all of you, I guess my question is what's your favorite part about crew? What's something that you would like to see different about it?
Convincing each other.
This is that vote both. Oh. Oh.
It's having a sense of like belonging.
Being able to see the smile on my friends' faces when we do silly activities and just have a good time together and enjoying each other's company.
How many students participate? Is it everyone or is it individual groups?
The whole
school.
So it's the whole school and most crews are about 12 students. So that way it's a nice small group to really foster those relationships.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Karen.
I hope that you didn't already say it and I missed it, which is possible. But who comes up with these ideas of the things to do during crew?
So it's a collaborative effort. So we have a scope and sequence here at the middle school, and there's a team of teachers. We meet together monthly. We look at our themes. We come up with what's our greeting going to be, what's our meeting, what are some good activities. We get feedback from the students too. We have student focus groups for grade 6 to 7 to grade 8, and then we get honest input from them too. So at one point they said we want more activities, so we did way more activities. They wanted less talky things, so we did less talky things. So it's really a team effort, and yeah, it's been a collaborative team effort to figure out what we're going to do and themes and so on and so forth. Yeah,
It's like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Does every crew in the class, are they all doing the same activities universally?
There are assured activities that everyone must do. And then once those are done, people have choices. So based on, we have a framework, they have different choices. And once people get to know their crews and what their crews need, then the crew leaders have that ability to say, okay, well, I think this week we need to do this and to go from there. So there's flexibility in that too. Yeah.
Other questions?
I have one. How do you think it's impacted the middle school this year? What, not individual, but like the school itself? How have you noticed it's impacted, especially, you know, those of you that are not a little older? So how do you think it's different this year as compared to last year now having crew?
Here last year, but
Okay.
I would just say that I think most people said that it was a really good thing for kids like around, because for my first year personally, as like being in crew on my first day, I made friends
Right away.
So I'm sure like a bunch of other people were new friends.
It also kind of brings a sense of togetherness as if we are all together in this effort to continue through our academic lives.
Yeah.
And it also, like Nadia said, brings people to like see people that they might not see as friends into being friends. She said she was new this year, and mainly crew was like the main reason why I'm good friends with her now. So I think it's really positively impacting me and others around me.
Is the plan for the crew to stay together for the 3 years that kids are in middle school?
Not next year, but then we're talking about it moving forward, how we want to structure the crews with the leaders to make the most sense. Is it best to have kids together for 3 years, or is it best for students to get to know different kids each year? So there's pros and cons both ways, and we're still weighing those options.
Thank you. This was really wonderful to see.
And we did not do activity, the students at this moment, the activity and the opening today. So adults had nothing to do with them. They wanted to do this with you guys.
I love it.
Love it.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Mrs. Tanis, did you get a group picture of everybody? Yeah, why don't you? Guys, why don't you come to the center over here and we can do a picture of everybody.
And Heather, I'll take the.
Yeah, everybody in.
Yes.
Heather in there. I'm gonna make the most of it while you're here. You might have to do 2 rows, guys. I don't know. This could be a crew activity.
Don't worry about it, Nadia.
Beautiful.
Okay, say grumpy cat.
Grumpy cat. Nice job, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
So lucky. Thank you so much. Next, I believe we have Nikita, technology education teacher at Granby Memorial High School.
Okay, we're gonna start off with the Macarena, if that's okay. Followed by the electric slide. No, I'm just kidding. I'm very proud to be introducing our Crackerjack team of celebrities, high school celebrities here at this Granby Memorial High School. Hayden Baker and Dami Hernandez are two of our stars of our Bears broadcast. And I'm going to be turning things over to them in just a second. They are actually pictured on the right-hand side up there. That's them on screen just this week with our Bears broadcast. And I also want to thank them, but I want to extend a special thank you as well to Nick Gata, who is our advanced broadcasting teacher, who's really helped to get this wonderful program off the ground. And again, that's thanks, as Nick will share as well, for the Board of Education for your support, for the Granby Education Foundation, and Mr. Al Wilkie, who also donated to really have this opportunity for our students. So we're going to get you under the hood a little bit, show you a little bit of what it's about, and then the students are going to share a little bit about the impact on the school culture and on them as well. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for having us here tonight. We're here to talk about the wonderful program that this community has helped create. In 2022, the Technology Education Department was presented with an amazing opportunity by Al Wilkie, the Granby Education Foundation, and the support of the Granby Board of Education to build a state-of-the-art broadcast studio. The lab consists of new powerful video editing computers, up-to-date editing software, TriCaster studio technology, 4K cameras, and much more. We have designed a program that allows our students to engage with their school community while working on countless technological and communication skills. The process to get here took lots of research, planning, meetings, and patience. In the spring of 2023, we ran our advanced communication class for the first time, and our first broadcast was March of that year. Thank you for all of those who were involved in the development of our new assets at Granby Memorial High School. Next, we have our students have already been introduced, Damiano Hernandez and Hayden Baker. I apologize. Damiano will be attending University of Southern Maine next year to study communications. And Hayden will also be attending the University of Southern Maine next year to study biology. What we have, our backgrounds. What we have next is a little video that we've prepared for you. It is an example news broadcast, give you a little flavor of what our student body sees every day.
What? Today is Wednesday, and the weather tonight is going to be rainy with a low of 55 and a high of 64.
The Granby Memorial High School community would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the Granby Education Foundation for their generous donation to create a news broadcast studio for our students. This incredible gift provides our students with meaningful, hands-on opportunities to develop media, communication, and technology skills in a dynamic real-world environment.
We also deeply appreciate the continued support of our Board of Education, whose commitment possible. Together, the GEF and BOE are empowering our students with the tools and confidence to share their voices with the school and the community. Thank you for investing in our students' futures.
GEHS Athletics has opened a team apparel store until May 8th. Support our teams with some Bears gear. The link is available on the GMHS Athletics website and the Athletics Cafe TVs.
In sports this week, Baseball has a home game versus Newington starting at 3:45. Girls lacrosse has a home game at the same time versus Rockville. And girls tennis has a home game versus Bolton starting at 4 p.m. Get out there and support our classmates. Go Bears.
Mystery Teacher! Welcome to day 2 of Mystery Teacher. Same teacher, new facts. For our first clue today, they did 1 year of nursing school before switching to education. Clue number 2, their favorite grade to teach is sophomores. Voting opens today, so spread the word. A reminder to all of you, the clues will reappear when you go to vote, so don't worry if you can't remember them.
That concludes our morning announcements. Go Bears! Have a great day, Team NHS.
As a little flavor of what our broadcast looks like, it's a little truncated for the meeting here tonight. But now we'll turn it over to our students and talk a little bit about the process. We can go back one. Oh. Impact on broadcasters.
I could just go forward one, sorry. Yeah.
No. Okay.
All right. So the impact on the GMHS culture has been huge with the news. As you can see, our first broadcast all the way back in 2022 started off everything. Errors, of course, mistakes, but we got through it. That second picture you see on the top, just an instance of a teacher appearing on, just some fun stuff to do. And that third picture up there is news broadcast being used to get a message across to the school, to all the students, trying to get, inclusivity, positivity, and no hate, because there's an incident happened. Yeah. You can see people watching the news on the bottom too. I don't have much to say about the years before this because I hadn't done broadcast before this, but this year at least, I have maybe 2 or 3 people come up to me every day saying, "Hey, nice job," or "Who's the mystery teacher this week?" So in one way or another, it impacts everybody.
Throughout. Oh.
Wonderful morning.
Impact on culture to add to that. One of the ways we engage our student bodies with mystery teacher, which you saw in the example clip. This is one way that we can communicate and engage our students, and we plan to expand upon this. This is an idea that was brought together by our crew and developed over the course of the year. And we receive anywhere between 60 to 80 votes guessing about who the mystery teacher is every week. So that's been a really fun way to engage our student body. Additionally, the students have created, this studio has created an opportunity for CCSU dual enrollment. And so students who are enrolled in this class can apply for CCSU credits and receive those credits before as they exit the classroom. So it's a wonderful opportunity for our students. The production process here, as we can see, we start in the top left corner. We go from the putting the script together and pulling all the facts and information we need for our broadcast. That script is written and put over into the teleprompter, which you can see in the bottom left-hand corner there. And if you can kind of read it closely, you can see that it's in reverse, which is an interesting something that the teleprompter user has to deal with and read backwards as the talent is reading it off the screen on the computers there. In the middle picture, we have our switcher station, the actual TriCaster switcher station itself, and that's where everything comes into that and is disseminated out from there. So all the magic really happens in that board. And then you can see on the right-hand bottom picture there is the audio board, and that is controlling any sound effects that we have and the audio levels of the microphone to make sure we have a clear message. And in the top right corner is really all those bottom 3 pictures. It's the full show all together with the talent in the background. The crew at this point has full control over the class, gradual release of control. We have brought them along. I showed them everything specifically they needed to do. And then slowly we give those tasks off. And now I just make sure they have the links that they need. They come in and they produce the entire show from beginning to end themselves with minimal input from me. Really, at this point, if there's a major technological breakdown, it's really the only time I'm stepping in at this point. The creation is really all on the students. I think that's it. Thank you so much for your time here tonight. And any questions?
I'm curious where, Mr. Gata, or for the students who've been doing this a while, where do you see the show or the production process going in the future? Like, what are your ideas for how this could continue to grow since it's only a couple years old?
Yeah, so more engagement. So the mystery teacher would be like that first step. Another thing that we plan on doing more of, especially as the class grows in numbers, is having two separate crews running the show. So one crew will be in charge of morning announcements in the morning, and they'll take that responsibility for 2-3 weeks maybe, while another crew is off producing a story, doing something that's a little more advanced and a little more in-depth opposed to the small stories that we put on the morning announcements, and then utilizing the YouTube channel to get that information and those produced videos out there. One thing that we're working on finalizing right now is we did an interview series where we had 4 teachers interviewed throughout the school. We kind of set up a base set of questions for the first set of questions and then specific questions for that teacher specifically. And we plan on releasing those as the year ends. And examples like that will continue to grow. And the ideas really do come from the students, which is really nice. So we sit them down and we like to do what I call throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. And we have lists and lists and lists of ideas, and we go through them. We pick out what we think the school community needs or wants or will engage in.
I have 2 questions. The first one is, I know there's a journalism class as an elective in English, and I wondered if this is sort of broadcast journalism and if there's any kind of cross-disciplinary connection.
There is not currently, but it is something that we all think is a wonderful idea.
And Donnie, nice to see you again. Tell me about how is it this class that sparked your interest in studying communications at college?
If I'm being honest, I wanted to go for journalism, which was sparked by taking journalism last year. But taking this class has definitely influenced how I think about both journalism and news in general. And going to that future of communications, more so broadcast journalism or the journalism aspects of communication, but definitely that has influenced me a lot.
And Hayden, has it sparked anything for you as well?
No.
Well, you look like you're having a good time. You're doing it.
I work in television, so I was excited for this presentation today. You both are really natural and you do a great job in front of the camera, and you should go to communications. You have a knack for it. So if you wanted to double major or something, I'm so happy to see this. I think the skills that you're building here, whether you go into journalism, I hope you do. We need some great journalists in the world. Whether you continue in communications or whether you continue in biology, the skills that you are learning here, how to deliver a message, how to concisely communicate something, how to edit video, how to put a message out there that's going to be really connective to your audience is going to be really, really important. So I'm thrilled to see this. What a great gift from GEF. And Liz asked the same question. I was curious about the evolution and looking forward to see what great things you do.
Thank you.
Yes, to add to that, I have a son who is a sports broadcaster who went to Granby High School, and he would have loved to have had this opportunity when he was here. But again, I echo what Heather said. Whether you do pursue journalism or broadcasting, these are great skills because it's teaching you how to speak well, how to prepare a presentation and get up in front of people and present it. So these are things that are going to serve you well, and I'm glad that we can provide this for our students.
I would love to hear from the students. What do you find to be the most challenging? I had the opportunity to be the talent with Farmington Valley, and I found it to be very challenging. And I speak in front of people all the time. I'm curious from your perspective of like learning the different components and all it takes to pull it together. What has been the most challenging for you? Maybe what are you the most proud of now that we're nearing the end of the year?
Yeah, the most challenging part is keeping up with the teleprompter.
Yeah.
When it's there.
Yeah.
Definitely. What I'm most proud of is probably how I evolved personally throughout being on broadcast. I mean, when we first started, I would rather die than be on camera.
Yeah. Interesting.
But now I wake up in the morning, at least on single period days when we do this, I wake up excited to do it.
Yeah.
It's like the one fun thing I get to do when I start my morning. It's it gets recognition from people, gets my own personal life.
Your other classes aren't fun?
You look very natural. I thought he was nervous. You look very natural.
Love that.
I can vouch for that because every time I'm late, they text me like, "Hey, we're trying to broadcast our day."
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess I think my most challenging thing is staying really loud and energetic because I guess in a way it's kind of embarrassing and I'm kind of shy, but I guess I mean I heard some of the juniors don't like it, but a lot of the seniors said that it makes it fun. So I think that as long as it makes most of the people happy, that's what keeps me motivated. I don't know. I guess
Don't listen to the naysayers.
Don't listen to those geniuses.
You are very energetic and very dynamic up there, and it's really the energy is infectious. So stay on the positive side of that. Okay.
Thank you.
Hopefully it'll help you to grow that thicker skin because when you put yourself out there like we do, not everybody is going to like what you have to say, and you just have to feel like you're doing your best, and that's good enough.
And that you're being you.
I guess I'm proud of just being able to speak because I guess I'm a little afraid. So I guess it's fun to speak my mind and be able to I don't know, again, just make people smile. That makes me.
I love that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. This is really great. It seems like this is a program that's really ripe for many opportunities. So I'm very excited to see how this grows and where it goes in the future. And thank you so much for bringing it to us.
And thank you for your work. Thank you.
All right. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, now we have to talk about policy? That's okay. There's no downer. All right, to real business. Reports and discussion. We have the first reading of the revised policy 5141.5 suicide prevention. Does anybody want to speak to it, or Jen or?
Jen. Okay, sure. So we did without a meeting. It feels like a long time ago that we brought this forward. But we are bringing forward a policy that has legislative changes around documenting our both prevention, addressing an issue, and what they call postvention around suicide prevention. We are already in compliance with all of the mandates around training. It also calls attention to things like posting the suicide hotline prevention number. And so there's very minor changes, but it was time to bring our policy up to speed. And it is pretty much the way that the CABE model policy reads is what we're bringing forward to you tonight.
Okay, so that will be our first reading and it'll be presented and be voted on at the next meeting.
Correct.
Excellent.
Can I just ask, what is postvention?
How you address an issue after.
If you actually had an event?
Even in an attempt,
Right.
how you address how it was handled, kind of like coming back together in a debrief of the event is that aspect that they're addressing.
Right, any additional questions? All right, we will do that again at our next meeting. Business requiring action, Director of Finance and Operations report, Nikki. Ms. Stevenson. Yeah.
So before you is the March 2025 budget expense report for this fiscal year, encompassing transactions through March 31st. Personnel and program account expenditures are well within the spending plan. As previously mentioned, financial closing schedules and timelines have been provided to all budget owners to allow for an in-depth analysis of each account to identify any unanticipated needs and/or potential savings. With year-end approaching, there will be an increase in shifting of funds to accommodate year-end purchases and initiatives, as well as alleviate any line item negative balances. Special education expenses are also remaining stable as we approach year-end. As changes occur within student movement, program modifications, staff adjustments, etc., are adjusted to reflect anticipated expenditures, which at this point in time, special education expenses are less than budgeted, where we currently see significant savings. The Q&D fund continues to remain consistent, and we still expect to end the year with a positive balance. Reimbursement revenue to the town is anticipated to decrease by $36,160. This is primarily due to final excess cost reimbursement, which is now inclusive of the additional $40 million by the state for FY25 expenses. After the March filing of special education expenditures by all districts, this year Granby's final anticipated entitlement is $579,471. Therefore, the town can expect to receive a final payment of $72,265 in June. Additionally, one student in the BEAR program withdrew, which did decrease revenue by approximately $10,000. However, the decrease in the excess cost reimbursement from the February report is for the most part offset by an increase in special education revenue in the amount of $99,000 due to additional and increased services to students with which the town is reimbursed for. So all in all, to date, financials are looking favorable. Any questions that I can answer?
Thank you, Nikki. Because of spring break, the finance committee didn't have an opportunity to review this in person. It was submitted via email to the committee. Does anyone have any questions in regard to this report?
No, I did review it when it was submitted, and I feel confident that everything looks in order.
Okay, thank you.
Nikki, do you know, is that committee that we're ever gonna meet again? The one with the 3 boards and the 2 members?
CPAC.
CPAC, I believe it's next month.
Yeah, the meeting is a joint meeting of the Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance, and Board of Education. We are of the understanding that we will convene the first week in June, that we will hold the June meeting. The first meeting in May was canceled. The second meeting in May is the Memorial Day holiday. But we have inquired and been told that we will meet in June.
All right, can I have a motion?
I would like to move that the Granby Board of Education approve the March 2025 budget expense report.
For a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Ali, I don't know if you're in a situation where you're able to vote. Okay.
Hey, did I get unmuted? Okay. No, I'm good. It was the host has to unmute me.
Okay, thank you, Ali. All right, next up, do I have a motion in regard to the minutes from the April 2nd Board of Education meeting and the April 7th Special Board of Education meeting?
I'll move that the Granby Board of Education approve the minutes from the April 2nd, 2025 Board of Education meeting and the April 7th, 2025 Special Board of Education meeting.
You know what, let's, I'm going to ask you to restate the motion because I don't think everyone was present at those. We might have some abstentions for one versus the other. So
separate them.
Yeah, so can we separate that? Can I get a motion for the April 2nd Board of Education meeting?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's right. I'll move that the Granby Board of Education approve the minutes from the April 2nd, 2025 Board of Education meeting.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I abstained.
Okay, Donna abstains. Ali, where are you at?
Oh, are we talking about the meeting minutes?
The meeting minutes.
Yes, I'm good with that one. Aye.
Okay.
The other one,
Aye. Thank you. Yeah, the other one you'll abstain.
Yep.
Sorry, little predictive motion practice there. Can I have a motion in regard to the April 7th, 2025 special Board of Education meeting?
I move that we approve the minutes from the Board of Education meeting on April 7th, 2025 for the special Board of Education.
Thank you, Donna. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I abstain.
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. All right, next up, we have the international field trip approval.
That for you. So you'll see in your packet that there's detailed information for 2 international field trips. The first is to Quebec City in Quebec, Canada, over February of 2026. So these are a year away, with Jump Street Tours, which is a company we've used successfully in the past. This is the long President's Weekend for high school students in grades 10 and 12. To attend, and you can see some of the activities that they'll be engaged in, learning opportunity for our students that are studying French. The second trip is to Madrid and Barcelona, Spain. That is a 10-day trip that extends the April school vacation week, April of 2026. Again, this is a trusted company that we've used previously. Students will travel to Spain, explore Madrid, Barcelona, and surrounding cities. Really many wonderful opportunities for cultural experiences and use of their language. This is open to all high school students. Both of these trips are self-funded by the students that choose to participate. This is at no cost to the Board of Education. And we ask that you approve both of these trips so that we are able to continue with the planning. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have, and Mr. Dunn is here with me and he can chime in as well.
Do you need chaperones?
That's always the first question.
I'm curious, is this new that all grades are able to attend the Spain trip? My understanding was in the past that it was more encouraged more for upper class.
Maybe you answer that, Jen or Mike, if it previously had been open to all grades or
if that's new.
The Spain trip.
I believe it has been open to all grades in the past. I can double check on that.
I thought it was an exchange before.
We also have an exchange.
Oh, I see.
We have the exchange. It is just went out of exchange this year.
That's what I was going to highlight also, is that we have a French and a France and a Spain exchange trip that alternate, or they're on a rotating schedule, that are a little bit, I would say, more connected to classes and curriculum. And this is cultural exploration available to all.
You might consider reaching out to Granby Education Foundation or somebody to see if they could maybe provide a scholarship for one student. It's something that's sometimes done in other districts.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, I can bring that up there. My understanding is typically a staff member would have to write a grant to grant requests to get that funding, but that is a great suggestion, and I would expect that it would be favorably received if it meets criteria. The only thing I'm thinking though is that things like transportation can't be are not funded in the bylaws.
We work
So
with
it could be
families
tricky.
that have an interest and a financial need. We haven't explored grant options for that, but I think you raise a good point for us to continue considering ways to make the trip accessible to students that may wish to attend and this would pose a hardship. So we can explore that further.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I move that the Granby Board of Education approve the international field trips for the 2025-2026 school year for Granby Memorial High School students as presented.
Thank you, Donna. Is there a second?
I'll second that. Oh, sorry, beat you to it.
Is there any further discussion?
Did you?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Committee reports. Board standing committee reports, curriculum, policy, technology, communication did meet this evening. Karen?
Yep, so we did meet this evening, and Assistant Superintendent Parsons presented us with a couple of policies that we talked about. One of them was the school climate policy. There seemed to be significant changes regarding language, especially from regarding bullying and challenging behaviors, and a focus on restorative practice to repair relationships and hold students accountable for challenging behaviors. The second policy that we discussed was replacing an existing policy, and namely it was regarding the kindergarten cutoff date, whereby a child must be 5 years old by September 1st. It used to be January 1st. And also this addresses students withdrawing from school at age 17 with parent approval or 18 on their own. Regarding kindergarten, some families may request a waiver for children to enter kindergarten in the September to December window of time if the child is not 5 by September 1st. And in that case, we assess the children. We will be bringing forward this policy for a first read at the May 21st Board of Education meeting. And after that, Assistant Superintendent Parsons shared with us her monthly report. There were 3 things that she talked about. The first of which was the district leadership team recently discussed the curriculum review cycle. The leaders of departments will be assessing where their curricula are, and will be creating or drafting assessment calendars for core assessments for the 2025-26 school year. The second subject was secondary schools schedule reform for 2025-26. The principals and assistant principals for the middle school and high school have been working on finalizing the bell schedules. And then lastly, Assistant Superintendent Parsons talked to us about some year-end planning, interviewing for the Teacher of the Year for 2026, and climate surveys are being issued to families, students, and staff.
All right, thank you, Karen. Does anybody have any questions? All right. Finance, personnel, and facilities, like I mentioned before, got a little break over spring break, and we'll be meeting again at the next meeting, which is 2 weeks from today. Other board related reports, CAVE. I did attend the last meeting for all the board chairs. A majority of the discussion was surrounding changes in a variety of policy as well as budgets. I was the only one in the meeting that has had our referendum at that point. I was greeted with a nice round of applause for the passage of our budget. I just want to make people aware that there are a lot of towns out there that are having a hard time and are making significant cuts to programming as well as staff. And we are very fortunate in that regard that we had a lot of creative programs designed that put us in a good situation. I know it wasn't ideal for everyone, but it was a good situation, and comparatively, it's really quite positive. So I'm grateful for that. So thank you. Granby Education Foundation?
Yeah, the Granby was held at the end of April, and it was a wonderful event, well attended. Some good performances by folks in attendance today and their teams. The auction items made a good amount of money. So I think the event was a success. And, the Granby GEF is already talking about what to do for next year if keeping the event as is makes sense, if it might make sense to kind of splinter into a few different events, because there is, I guess it used to be more of an adult event, with the addition of Mr. Witten as the MC, a lot of young ones are in attendance, and, trying to creatively adapt to the times.
Which just reminds me, I should have announced this at the very beginning when there were more people present, that the team I sponsored won. Thank you very much. The Buzz Bros.
Okay.
Yes. And it was really exciting that it was a group of our students that won. It was really great.
And they got a lot of applause for dethroning the past champion.
They did. Yeah, they did. It was a really fun night, and it was a big competition. It was really exciting to see the kids do so well. So thank you very much for that. Calendar events, long list in the back of the packet. Everybody can take a look at that themselves. Board member announcements. Anyone have anything?
I'll share that as part of the district equity committee, we had a really great meeting April 9th to talk about gender and oppression. We had a guest speaker from Avon Public Schools talking about how to consider the impact of gender in our students on the way that our schools are set up, the way that our programming takes place. So I think there was a lot of food for thought. It's been some really productive conversations in that group. I really enjoy it.
Excellent, thank you. All right, action items. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear any either. All right, superintendent's report.
Sure, thank you. So this week we are celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week. We use this as an opportunity to celebrate all of our educators and staff across the district. Really wonderful to have support from parent donations and PTO. There are signs outside of each building with gratitude from the Board of Education for our educators. And today all of the staff received a refreshed lanyard. And so we've also provided one for the Board of Ed if you so choose to use that or hang it somewhere in high regard. So we're having a really great week and it's wonderful to celebrate our educators for all of their hard work. The Granby was so much fun. I was not on stage, but I sponsored a pretty amazing central office team. There was a high school team. It was really so much fun to see so many varied groups and stakeholders that you were missed this year. I'm looking forward to next year's costume. And you know, something that's grown for me out of last year, which is so fun, is we raffle off superintendent for the day. Thankfully, some of my very own staff and administrators were outbid in that process. And Lucy Lawton, who is a third grader at Wells Road School, will be spending the day with me on May 29th as the superintendent for the day. So I really look forward to that. It's a lot of fun. We are still celebrating Kristen Laslam, our Teacher of the Year. She was recognized just recently by the Granby Simsbury Chamber as their Educator of the Year. That is both communities. And so every other year, either a Granby educator or a Simsbury educator will be recognized by their organization, which I think is a really lovely outreach to educators in our communities. So it was a lot of fun to celebrate Kristen, sort of bookends of her year as Teacher of the Year. And as Karen mentioned, we had well over 40 teachers nominated for the 2026 Teacher of the Year. So we're super excited to see who the next deserving educator will be in our school district. Last night, it really is a time of celebration. So last night I had the opportunity to join a celebration for new staff. You know, this is something that's, I think, unique to Granby, in that we support with mentors and guidance all year long, educators that are new to us. They don't have to be going through any specific type of mentoring program. They're just new to Granby. And Jen Parsons puts on with, I know her assistant, Andy Buckle, works closely with her to put on a celebration of those new teachers with their mentors. And a number of us were able to attend. It's a lot of fun. To recognize that first year and with the goal of really retaining and helping people feel celebrated and appreciated in Granby Public Schools. I did share with the board, but I want to also publicly announce that given a larger projected class size in kindergarten, we are adding one FTE to our initial projection because of the size. We do need to add, this will keep our class sizes at about 18 students per grade. Without that addition, we're to 22 or more. That's not conducive to the learning environment we want for our youngest learners. A transition night will be held for incoming 6th graders on May 14th. Kindergarten orientation and activity day is happening on May 16th. We're also having a transition for our 2nd and 5th graders so that they get the opportunity to sort of move up and experience Wells Road in the middle school. So all of that happens to give our kids that comfortability and introduction to their new schooling environments. Lots and lots of year-end activities, so please check that calendar of events. Our middle schoolers and their fearless leaders are getting ready to go to Washington, D.C. They leave on Tuesday, May 20th, and they are gone until Thursday, May 22nd. We are having our last learning walk of the year, and Heather Lombardo will be joining to represent the board, so we're happy to have you. And as Chairperson Logan mentioned, our next regularly scheduled meeting is May 21st, and we will have only 2 meetings remaining, May 21st and June 4th, I believe. So the year is
June 4th, the last meeting.
I believe it is, yes. Two. And then school's out for summer. Katie might come back over the summer and meet with us, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we really enjoy that, right? Katie, look pretty perfect.
If you want me to. Yeah. When you're gone, you're gone. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for Superintendent Beck? Okay. Thank you so much. I know this is a little bit longer meeting than usual, and it is hot up here. So
It is quite
toasty. Is there a motion?
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.